Hi, my name's Jared. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Mettle in the Making. About a week ago, I completed a sprint distance triathlon. It was really fun, and I'm really proud of myself. It's been a couple of months in the making, and I roped in a couple of mates, and they completed it also with me. It was really fun, a bit of friendly competition. It was really fun doing an actual event. We've done a couple of practice runs from the house, but to have the proper tracking and the proper transition, and obviously having other competitors out on the course and navigating that element, monitoring your pacing and all of that sort of stuff. So really looking forward to getting into the Olympic distance training now, and hope to complete one soon. So I've always wanted to do a triathlon, partially for bragging rights, but also just to develop a well-rounded fitness. I'm not a very good swimmer and I'm not a very good runner, but just to challenge myself and to improve in those two disciplines. I've done a little bit of cycling. I'm fairly comfortable on the bike, but obviously need to get fitter. Always can be fitter. But I've really enjoyed the challenge of doing all three. So you can be pretty good, and those of you that have done a triathlon will know this, like you can be good at swimming, good at running, good at cycling, but to get out of the water onto the bike, your legs are a bit shaky, and then your legs are really shaky to get off the bike and start running. So a triathlon, as much as it's the three disciplines, when you put them all together, it's really its own thing. And it's really pushed me and pushed me physically and mentally, and I'm really enjoying the challenge. So the reason I decided to do one now was kind of a light bulb moment I had not long after we moved from Brisbane to the Gold Coast. So when we moved down here, it was the middle of winter, but I still wanted to sort of enjoy the beach. So I started running down a path by the beach here, and as part of my cool down, I would swim in the river. And that was something that I really looked forward to doing. And one morning I was laying there, partially meditating as the sort of sun came up. And this thought popped into my head: if you don't do a triathlon now, you're never going to do one. And I started thinking about it and mapping it out in my head, and I'm like, I can run straight from the house, straight down the beach. I can swim here in the river. It's 2 minutes walk from the house. And I can ride up the valley, which is a really, really nice ride. So after that, there was a few things I had to get in check first. I had to get a bike and wait for it to start warming up. It was a bit too cold to swim in the river at that time. And I also had to get Katrina to sort of sign off on that time commitment, which she did, and I'm grateful for her. And she's starting to see that's starting to pay off for her as well, in that I have an improved mental state and a bit more emotionally stable, which is great. And I've got that recharge time to have that rejuvenation away from the house and away from the family, to come back and to be the father and husband that I want to be. So I just wanted to unpack some of the little aspects of what led up to this, and what led to this first initial success, and what I've got in place to help me achieve the goal of doing at least an Olympic and maybe a longer form event eventually. This follows most goal setting templates, which I didn't actually use, but it on retrospect and on preparation for sharing this, I could definitely see a lot of those templates in what I'd written down. So I've only completed milestone 1, or the first major milestone that we put in place, which was the sprint triathlon. But in picking this goal, like I said, it was kind of just a light bulb moment for me. But I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't be doing this triathlon goal if I didn't live where I live now. So I think it's really important to have an understanding that we are creatures that take the path of least resistance. So to really minimise any resistance right from the get-go is really beneficial in attaining a goal. So I've got written down here, for example, if you're social, then do something with friends. If you're competitive, find a race. If you're detail oriented, find a tracking system. The triathlon is quite good for this. Buy a watch, track your data, and plot your progress. And if you're introverted, which I am, choose something restorative, so you're getting a dual benefit. So I'm working towards my goal, and I'm also getting some restorative effect as well. So if I had to drive somewhere to swim, or I was swimming in a pool and it was only set times, that would definitely be a barrier for me, and I wouldn't swim as much. So choosing to swim in the river is something that has really helped. So I've obviously picked a very specific goal, but it's also a goal that is appropriate for this time in my life, and well suited to where I live, and also it's not a extraordinary time commitment at this stage. So the second point I've got here is build in some milestones. So triathlon lends itself perfectly to this. So like I said, milestone 1, sprint distance triathlon. So we simply just started trying to do the sprint distance for each discipline individually. So start trying to work up to a 750 metre swim. We're doing a 20k ride, and eventually 30, and eventually 40. But we started out just doing a slow 20k ride. Then the run is 5k. So just started trying to do the run, and then run non-stop. So obviously when we first started, or certainly when I first started, was walking. Would stop at halfway and have a little walk, and quite often have a walk on the way back. But over time was able to do the whole run. Then we started planning to do 2 disciplines at once. So do a swim ride or a swim run, and then the ride run. And it was really good doing those each. As we did each of those, we'd get that little sense of pride for achieving that next level up, which was really important to help us keep moving forward and setting that next little milestone. We did a couple of practice runs before we did the full event, and that really helped us feel comfortable, and especially the earlier practice runs, to figure out how it felt to get out of the water and get on the bike, and particularly getting off the bike and to start running. So Simon Sinek and Andrew Huberman talk a lot about dopamine and how it helps us continue on that path towards reaching our goal. And I think milestones are a really important way of capitalizing on that dopamine release, building in those set milestones. Another point I've got here is recruiting some friends. So I like exercising alone sometimes, but I also am competitive. So having the 2 mates join me, it's been really fun training with them and watching them progress also, and we're kind of moving at a fairly similar level, which is great. And it's been helpful, on those days where you don't want to train and you don't feel like getting out of bed, to know that you've got someone coming here to train with. Just like it's not even a second thought. You just get out of bed and you get ready and you go. So this point's really important. Setting a date. It needs to be something. It doesn't need to be, but it's better if it's something that costs money and requires some kind of sign up or some kind of registration. Again, the triathlon's really good for this. We were waiting for events to open up, and then when this one opened up about a week ago, we signed up about a month in advance, and so you've got this pressure to be like, okay, we've really got to lock down the training over this next month, continue practicing, continue doing the practice triathlon events, like a full event, do all three of them, really get a feel for it. And it was just so much better to have that external deadline to keep us on track and get us out of bed on those days where you felt a bit tired or a bit sore. This last point is super important. I remember watching a video a few years ago on Rich Froning. He was a CrossFit champion for 4 years in a row, I believe. And it was an interview with another competitor who was doing some training with Rich. And they said they'd been training all day and they'd had dinner, and here's Rich outside still training. And he said the guy just loves to train and push himself. And I just remember thinking, man, that's part of the reason that he is, 4 times CrossFit champion. He just loves the training aspect of it. Also, I remember when I was doing my Year 12 studies here many years ago now. I remember the guy that got the top marks for my the time that I did my Year 12. He enjoyed reading physics books for fun. He enjoyed the process of studying. I was like, man, how can I compete with that guy? He loves it. I'm less academic. I don't enjoy that. I rather do physical activities. And obviously that's contributed to him getting the top marks for that year. It's something I've really tried to internalize in this process. So, like I said, I am not very good at swimming, or I wasn't very good at swimming. I'm still not super great at running, but I've really tried to just enjoy the process. And the swimming's been the most profound shift. I actually find it to be my favourite now. Just getting in the water, first thing in the morning usually, and it's really quiet. You sort of you've got the noise of the water splashing, but it's not like cars and sort of other noises. And as much as I'm trying to improve and am slowly getting better, I really just am relaxed while I'm swimming. And it's something that even as I stop training for a triathlon, I will likely continue to swim. So a deeper goal on the back of the triathlon is being a really active father. So I really want to learn to love the process of training and becoming fit, and using a triathlon a way of keeping me on track and keeping me motivated, and getting me started back into exercising regularly and having a more healthy lifestyle. But if for example I went all the way and did an Olympic level triathlon, but I didn't learn to love the process, I think that might not be as beneficial as even just doing an Olympic level triathlon but learning to love the process. So, I want to be an active father, and part of that is, to keep up with my boys as they grow, but also to set an example for them about what a healthy lifestyle is, and staying fit and active. So, regardless of the end goal, I suppose this using the triathlon to really learn to love the process of training and getting out in the sunshine and being active, and even things that I don't necessarily love straight away, trying them and sticking with it, and being intentional about loving the journey, loving the practice, loving the process, I think will be and I think it will be super important to sort of maintain that activity level moving forward. And I've already found just a different appreciation for these disciplines, and really had a shift and really enjoy just getting out there and training, and the triathlon is there in the background, but it's something to keep us on track. But it's this enjoying the journey that has been a real shift for me personally, because I'm normally more the ends focused instead of the learning to enjoy the journey. So the main takeaway for me at this point is what I wanted and what I needed weren't aligned at all. I didn't want to exercise and was just finding it so difficult to do any sort of regular exercise. The boys from about 18 months have started getting a little bit easier, and we've got a little bit more time, but just so tired and mentally and emotionally drained just from work and taking care of the kids and doing stuff around the house, that just didn't feel as though I had any extra energy for exercise. And setting this goal and slowly working towards it was not like instantaneous return on investment. It was a slog physically, just to run, and even riding initially, and even still, if I don't train for a while, just getting on the bike is just so hard physically to sort of keep up with my pace that I've been able to set in the past, and the swimming is sort of been the one thing that's been slowly improving, which has been great, and I feel really proud that that was probably the one I was most worried about, and it seems to be coming along nicely. But alongside the physical aspect, there's the emotional and mental aspect, and exercise was something that I did to regulate my mood and to stabilize my emotions and to really maintain that mental health before the kids came along. And it's something that I've definitely noticed has suffered a little bit, not only because the kids are so demanding, but also because I haven't been exercising and I haven't had that outlet. So I'm really glad to have started this, and I'm really glad that it seems to be working, and I seem to be able to stick with it. I'm really excited for the next round of training as we move into the Olympic level distances, and that will come with its own set of challenges. But I really truly am learning to love the process, and Andrew Huberman was really important in explaining that and teaching me the importance of learning to love the journey from a neurological level. So yeah, I'm super excited with the progress that we've made. I'm super excited for the track that we're on, and I am excited to start working on the Olympic distance for an event early next year. And yeah, really starting to feel the benefits of this training, and having something to look forward to, and having the starting point, not being able to swim, not being able to run, to now having to completed an actual sprint event. I just wanted to share what I've learned through going through this process and achieving this first little milestone. So from this Mettle in the making, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.